Hey folks, and welcome to Diary of an Old Canadian Queer. My name is Ross, and I'll be your host. I'm very excited. Hope some people get to see this. This is a new channel, so if you can like and subscribe, we would really appreciate it. I am starting this channel because I believe that queer people of a certain age and certain maturity have a separate or significant and unique perspective to give on the world, on art, on culture, on politics, on sex, on conversation. So that's what I'm hoping to accomplish with this channel. And I certainly have some things to say and some opinions to share. So that will be our main focus of this channel. And we will be having our first kind of opinion podcast hopefully by Friday. So I hope you check that out. But please, yes, like and subscribe. I do say and a lot, so I'm going to apologize for that right now. So forgive me, and hopefully it won't be too annoying. Um, and yeah, so let's dive right in. We're going to, as part of the channel, I want to do some music recommendations and some culture, art recommendations, whether it be movies, TV, books, and today we're going to do books. So for October, we're going to do some Hallowqueer Reads. These are books that I've either read or am reading or want to read that I'm very excited about. So we're going to dive right in. Excuse me. The first book we're going to talk about is called The Troop. Now, The Troop is by an author called Nick Cutter, and all of our books today we're going to talk about Nick Cutter. Nick Cutter is a pseudonym. The author's real name is Craig Davidson. I am going to use notes because I'm old and my brain's old, so I will be using notes. Craig Davidson is an author. He writes many other subjects and memoirs. He's also written under other pseudonyms with some even more high-end graphic books. But this is kind of his mainstream horror genre. Really like him. So the Troop, I stumbled upon, um, came out in 2014. I had just finished another book that I really, really enjoyed, and thank God the algorithm gods recommended this as another one for me to read. So I dove right in. I didn't read a whole lot about it. I don't even know if I read the synopsis. What I loved about it is that I don't know if I don't know, 3 or 4 pages in, realizing it is set on Falstaff Island, which is just off the coast of Prince Edward Island, which I live in Nova Scotia. I live in Cape Breton. So PEI would be one of our neighboring Atlantic provinces. So I was kind of shocked and surprised that this was going to take place in Prince Edward Island. So that was my first big hook. So we follow our scout leader, Tim. He has this group of boys that he has been with for most of their lives. So he was probably their beaver leader, their cub leader, and now he's their scout leader. And this is probably the last trip they are going to have together because the boys are getting older. They're now in high school. So this is basically going to be their last kind of trip to this island that they go to every year to do hiking and win their badges and do all their, you know, scout stuff. As they get settled in, um, a person arrives on the island in the middle of the night and makes his way to the cabin. And let me tell you, all fucking hell breaks loose. The cast of characters, the boys are absolutely wonderful. You know, it's a bit of a trope. It's kind of a bit of Lord of the Flies, Stand by Me, and The Descent, and The Substance, kind of all wrapped into one. So you have your cast of characters. You have your just run of the mill, troubled, had a hard life teen. You have his best friend, and they kind of have a codependent relationship. You have, you know, the chubby nerd guy. You have the jockey kind of alpha male, and then you have this really kind of dark guy named Shelley. He's having some identity crisis of his own. Um, the characters are really well written and they interact really well together. The story is really smart and tight. And I can tell you, as terrified, because this is a gory book. So if you can't do gore, you're not going to like this book because it's fucking gory. Um, but I cried multiple times reading this book for these boys because the horror that the writer puts these poor boys through is absolutely devastating, violent, and disturbing, to say the least. The other thing I like about this book, and I do compare it, Nick Cutter or Craig definitely have an affinity for Stephen King. And so I do liken this a little bit to Carrie because not only are you seeing what's happening on the island, but you're also getting interviews and articles and testimonies and information about the why and what and how, the reasons behind what is happening on the island. So it's kind of a parallel read in that way, which I really liked and kept me very interested. And yeah, absolutely terrifying. I gave it 5 out of 5. I love this book. I will definitely be reading it again before Halloween. So check out The Truth, Nick Cutter. Staying with Mr. Nick, The Deep. Another great book. I enjoyed this. It took me a little bit longer to get into this one, um, but there's a lot of back content with this one. But I still really enjoyed it. Basically, the world has been dealt an apocalyptic disease that affects humans called the Gets. And basically, people are losing their memories to the point where it may be very basic, kind of like a extreme um, uh, fast acting Alzheimer's and dementia, or can be so severe you may, lose your ability to remember how to breathe. So it devastates the planet, and our main character Luke, his brother is he's a research scientist, and he is 8 miles below the ocean at the bottom of Mariana's Trench. They have found a substance there called ambrosia, and they believe that it might help them find a cure for the Gets. Luke gets summoned to the facility, to the lab, because something is going on. He also gets a cryptic phone call from his brother from the facility. So he makes the venture to the bottom of the ocean to see his brother, and they're very estranged to see what's going on. And just like with the troop, he arrives there and all hell breaks loose. Really great characters. He makes man's best friend. Luke is a veterinarian, and so it doesn't make it's not surprising that his best friend would and partner would end up being this lovely dog, um, which is fun. Uh, but again, lots of body horror. Nick Cutter loves to play with human and animal kingdom DNA kind of crossovers, and he does it very well in this book, whether it be insect or developed species, or in this case, ambrosia. He likes to combine a lot of things that shouldn't be mixing. So check out The Deep. Again, one of my favorites from October so far. And then the last one we're going to talk about, and that is Craig there. Uh, yeah, Craig Davidson. Yeah, the Queen was interesting. The Queen is kind of again, has elements of the substance, has elements of the fly, and but at the heart of it, it's about these two teenage girls, Margaret and Charity. They're best friends, and lots of teenage girl angst and jealousies and trials and tribulations that they have. Um, but again, it's a Nick Cutter book, so things are going to get fucked up uh, really badly. Um, but basically, Charity has disappeared and is presumed dead. And Margaret gets up one day and finds an iPhone on her step and gets led through kind of a maze and rabbit hole to try to figure out um, if Charity is still alive or not. The text she's getting seem to be from Charity, should be from Charity because it's things that she would only know. But it really does become a scavenger hunt for Margaret to find out, and takes her on this really disturbing journey. And then we also have our villain. Our villain is a fucked up billionaire. Think evil Elon Musk, although I think Elon Musk is pretty evil, so I don't think that's much of a stretch. But our villain is has more money than God and is quite disturbed and is investing in some scientific experiments that nobody asked for, nobody wants. And these two girls become the center of his control and focus. Very, very disturbing. Very just the body horror is way, way over the top. So, but I enjoyed it. It was great. The relationship between the two girls is really lovely, but hard and difficult, as most teenage relationships are. But I think everyone will enjoy this as well. So those are our Hallowqueer reads for October. Thank you for coming by. Again, if you enjoy this, if you like this, if you want to come on our ride with us, like and subscribe, and have some good reads. Have a great day.